Well, from one number to another, Nitin Kasliwal, Vice Chairman and Managing Director at S. Kumar's Nationwide, now joins in to talk about how their quarter has been. Thanks so much, Nitin, for being with us. Good having you on the show again. 66% rise in net sales. Profits have moved up by about 22 to 25%, I think. But the margins have come down a little bit. How would you describe the quarter?
Good morning, and it's a pleasure to be with you on your channel. Sales are up, profits are up both at the gross level, EBITDA level, and level. Margins are down for the simple reason that we now have a substantial component of our international business. About 28% of our revenue is from our international business.
Okay, I think we've got a really bad line there going with Nitin. Let's see if we can reconnect with him and get him back, because he was just explaining to us why margins have come down. The international business for S. Kumar's has really kicked in and is now contributing 28% of the revenues. But it'll be interesting to ask him and find out whether margins on that business will continue to trail the domestic business or whether they can actually pick up S. Kumar's. And then there, of course, there is the Reid and Taylor buzz as well. So let's see if we can reconnect. Nitin, can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, brilliant. We have you on a far more clear line. So you were telling us about margins.
That's right. As I was explaining to you, our international business, because, the business we bought in the US, HMX LLC, is stabilized now. It is turned EBITDA positive in this quarter. And to that extent, as we go forward, this margin itself will increase to about 20% over the next 2 years.
Okay.
So our domestic business operates at about 24% margin. International business average will operate at about 17 to 18% margin. So overall in the company, we hope to be stabilizing at 21 to 22%. Currently, that's why.
Okay, so fair. That's the explanation on the margin front. Tell us what's happening with Reid and Taylor. That's the news that the market really wants to know. When are you filing the DRHP?
Hopefully, we should be filing the DRHP in this month, in the month of August. And then, SEBI approval awaiting, and then depending on the market conditions, we should be hopefully hitting the market sometime towards the fag end of this calendar year.
Okay, how much is Reid and Taylor contributing to your total revenue pie as a percentage now?
Reid and Taylor contributes about 25% to the revenues and about 40% to the EBITDA.
What's the rationale for taking it public and hiving it off as a separate entity altogether?
Actually, Reid and Taylor already is a separate entity. It is it's a 75% subsidiary of SKNL. 25% of Reid and Taylor belongs to the government of Singapore. They have invested $211 million for the 25% stake. Excuse me. And to that extent, it's already a separate company. IPOing out has 3-4 reasons. One is, of course, it gets listed on the exchange and therefore the value gets realized. And then also, from a long-term perspective, a listed entity is always better than a private entity.
So has the government of Singapore shown any interest in opting out or cashing out during the IPO time? Have you had any discussions with them?
Yeah, absolutely. Not at all. The government of Singapore is a long-term investor in this business. So there is no question. In fact, there's nothing at all about their opting out or cashing out at all at this moment. Not at all.
Okay, fair enough. So back to the business now. Then final question, how do you see the rest of this year? There are a couple of new launches as well. I believe World Player was a new brand that you've launched in the southern region. And then there is Kruger, which is going to be a premium casual sort of a brand. So how much are you looking at investing in these brands, and what kind of a run rate on the top line would you expect for this year?
Yeah. You see, overall, this year we should be ending top line at about between 5,500 and 5,700 crores. And our EBITDA should be ending at about 1,100 crores. On a consolidated basis. World Player is a mass fashion brand which has already been launched in South. It's now going to North and then East and then West. So it'll be the first pan-India mass fashion brand from an organized player in our category. It's doing very well. It's got very well established in the South, and it's getting very good traction. World Player should contribute about 500 crore sales in the next 3 years to us on the top line, and at about 14 to 15% EBITDA margins. Kruger is a brand which is at the premium end of the market, casual wear, as you're aware. This should add about 150 crore sales over 3 years with about 25% EBITDA margins. Totally, between these two brands and working capital and advertising, we should be spending about 70 to 80 crores.
All right, thanks so much for getting us those details, Nitin, and good luck with the business plans. That is the word coming in from S. Kumar's and their IPO plans for Reid and Taylor as well, which they are hoping to do towards the end of this month. They'll be filing the DRHP and then awaiting necessary approvals. 25% is a contribution in the total revenue pie. That's how much is coming in from Reid and Taylor, and it's as much as 40% at the EBITDA level for S. Kumar's. 2.5% up on the stock. We need to take a break.